Now, in the previous lecture, we understand how we can use for loop in Python. We also understand how we can iterate different sequences using for loop. Usually, a loop simply executes a block until its condition becomes false or until it has used up all sequences elements. But sometimes you may want to interrupt the loop to start a new iteration, or you may want to end the loop if certain condition met. So let's say you want to exit from the loop when you find 5 in the sequence. Let me show you a very simple example to understand what I want to say. Here I'm going to create a simple list. I'm going to create a variable n and specify a simple list to it. I'm going to create for loop here to iterate these numbers. I'm going to start with for x in n, specify the for block using colon, and here I'm going to print x just like this. So when I execute the statement, I'm going to have 1 to 10 numbers. Now what I want, when the x variable is equal to 5, I want to exit from this loop. I don't want to display the number after 5. So I'm going to use here if statement. So what I'm going to do is, in this block, I'm going to say if x is equal to 5, then specify the block of if statement just like this. And in this if, I'm going to print this x variable just like this. When I execute the statement, you can notice if x is equal to 5, I'm going to have the result on my terminal. When I execute the statement, you can notice I'm just going to have 5 on my terminal. Because when x is equal to 5, this condition return true and execute this print statement. But now what I want to print 1 to 5 numbers on the screen and hide all the numbers after 5. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to just get rid of this print statement and print it inside this for loop. So I'm going to just remove the indentation just like this. And now we have this print statement inside this for loop. In this if statement, I'm going to simply call a keyword break just like this. Now the break keyword is going to break the execution of the for loop. It means when the x is equal to 5, this break keyword is going to break this for loop iteration and exit from this loop. When I execute the statement, you can notice I'm going to have 1 to 4 elements on the screen. We use this break statement to exit from the loop whenever we want. So in this case, if x is equal to 5, I want to exit from this loop. So I'm going to use this break keyword for that. We use this break keyword to exit from the loop anytime when we want. Now the opposite of this break keyword is continue keyword. Continue keyword basically skip the rest of the loop body, but don't end the loop. Let's say I want to skip the value 5 from the sequence. I will use a simple continue statement. So now what I want to print all these numbers, but I don't want to print this 5 on the terminal. In that case, I can use here continue keyword. The continue keyword is going to skip the body of this for loop. So instead of this break statement, I'm going to just see here continue just like this. And when I execute the file, you can notice I have 1 to 10 value, but I don't have 5 number inside these numbers. Now the 5 value is now skipped from this loop, and this happened because of this continue keyword. This keyword is used to skip the body of the loop. Keep in mind, this keyword is not used to break the loop. We use break statement to break the loop, and we use continue statement to continue, or you can say to skip the body of the for loop. So whenever you want to skip the body of the for loop, you can use continue keyword. Now let me show you very amazing magic with for loop. For loop is not just used to make iteration. It can also be useful to make a list. For example, here I'm going to just add print, and in this print, to create a list, I'm going to start with square bracket, and in the square bracket, I'm going to say x multiply by x for x in range, and in the parentheses, I'm going to specify 10. Now when I execute this file, you can notice I have a number of list. The list starts from 0, and you can notice I just multiply x multiply by x. I'm going to just multiply the value of the x with the next value. So you can see the type of result here. So this is a very easy way to create a list in Python. Now this is what we call a list comprehension. It is a way to make a list from another list. Now what if you want to print out only those squares that are divisible by 3? You just need to specify if statement. If x is divisible by 3 and it is equal to 0, then I want to return that number. So when I execute the statement, you can notice you are going to get only those values which divisible by 3. So you're going to get this list as a result. For now, for the beginners, this is quite confusing for you. But with the help of practice, you will understand this sequence very easily. We just multiply the number with multiplication operator, use for loop to create a list range, and then use if statement to get the value divisible by 3. Now let's take a look at some amazing statement that might be useful when working with a big Python project. Sometimes you need to do nothing. This may not be very often, but when it happens, it's good to know that you have a pass statement. So let's take a look at a very simple example to understand how pass statement work. I'm going to get rid of this print statement and I'm going to just create a simple if and else ladder. You understand how we can create if and else statement, but now let me show you how you can create if and else ladder. So I'm going to just create a simple variable name and I'm going to specify value to it, John. Just for that, I'm going to create if statement and I'm going to just check if name is equal to John. Then in this if statement, I'm going to print welcome. So I'm going to say here welcome. Just for that, I'm going to create another if condition. To create another if condition, you just need to say here else if, just like this. And here I'm going to specify name is equal to, if the name is equal to worry, then I don't want to print anything. So here I'm going to just say print and I'm going to specify single quote here. I don't want to print anything here, so I'm going to just leave everything as it is. So I'm going to specify empty string in this print statement. Now what if you want to create another condition? You can use else if again. If you want to create another condition, you can just add here else if and specify your condition. That's super easy, right? And I'm going to say here don't, and then I'm going to print here access. If you want to add another condition, you can do that as well using this else if. So you can create n number of conditions using if else ladder. Now once I execute the statement, let me show you what will be the result. Now if the name is equal to John, this is going to execute this if block and I'm going to have welcome as a result. When I execute the statement, I'm going to have welcome as a result. Then if I just change this name of this name variable and if I just specify here worry, then I'm going to have this else if block. I'm going to get the empty string because here I just used a print statement with empty string. Now what I want to just keep this else if block. I don't want to print anything or do anything here. So instead of printing this string here, I'm going to just add a comment and here I'm going to say not finished yet, right? So I'm going to just specify here a comment and now let's try to execute this program. Now when I execute this program, you can notice I'm going to have an error message. This code won't run because an empty block is illegal in Python. To fix this, simply add a pass statement to the middle block. So to execute this code and to pass this block, we can use pass statement here. So instead of just specifying the command, I'm going to just use a keyword pass, just like this. Now this keyword is going to pass this block, so you'll not get any error message. So when I execute the statement, you can notice I'm not getting any error message. This pass keyword is going to skip this block. So whenever you don't want to do anything, you can use this pass keyword. So I hope you understand how you can use continue, break and pass keyword in the while loop and in the if statement. For an exercise, try to practice with this keyword and understand the behavior of the program. That is all for now. I will see you in the next one.